Morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're well, guys. Welcome to Football Brownie. Well, it's been a roller coaster few days at Cardiff City again. Welcome to the Cardiff City show, guys. Before I go any further, please like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Hope everybody's well, keeping safe, keeping each other safe, and spreading the love. And that is what Cardiff City and Mick McCarthy have been spreading the love, Dan, in the last few days. Before we go any further as well, Alan will kill me if I don't do it. Where are we now? Yeah. Discount code. Get 10% off from Alan and the guys from Away Day at proud.co.uk. Put Football Brownie in the promo code. Remember, capital F, capital W, capital B when you do that promo code. We have none other than Dan from GTFM, Forza Italian Football. Hola, ¿cómo está, Dan? You okay?
Yeah, not bad, mate.
So we got a story about Tafswell coming up in the future, then, have we?
Possibly, mate. Yeah, I got another meeting today, but yeah, could be doing some work with Tafswell from the Cymru League South in the future.
Oh, good on you. Hey, good on you. Look at Dan going up in the world. Right, Cardiff City, Dan, let's get to it. And we can't go any further, really. And the big news that came out yesterday, Mick McCarthy, 2-year contract. What's your opinion?
I think we all saw it coming. I'm not sure whether it's the right move. I mean, since he's been here, everything's been great. There's no denying that. Things are on the up. We're heading in the right direction. But it's only been 4 weeks, I think it is, or 40 days. I mean, long term, whether he's the right man for the job, I'm not so sure. But this is where we are now. He's got a 2-year contract. I think we all saw it coming eventually anyway. So all we can do is support him and hope things keep going in the right direction.
Look, Dan, you know I've been one of the biggest critics when, before his appointment. But I have to take my hat off to him. I got to hold my hands up. We all know that my fridge is overflowing with humble pie at the moment. And whether or not the link to Celtic, okay, it was with the bookies, the odds were 66 to 1 or so on. There's no doubting for me. There's no doubting that other clubs were looking at this, whether it would be Celtic, whether it be anybody else. But looking at this, I have to applaud the club. I have to applaud the club because they finally acted quickly, compared to the length of time it took to get rid of Neil Harris. They acted quickly. And surely it's round about now, Dan, the extension of contract start kicking in before the summer. So how could the club put a contract in front of a player and said, look, sign that, and the player would turn around, well, hang on, how do you expect me to sign for a club who I don't know the manager's going to be next season?
Yeah,
so I personally, I'm all for it, and there's a special bond, Dan, going on between McCarthy and these players. It can't be a coincidence. So many of the players are basically new players, really. You go from Phillips, Bakuna, Flint, even Harry Wilson has turned over a new leaf. And you got Ojo and you got Murphy. It can't be a coincidence. And I've been thinking of this overnight. I can't look any further than to praise the club.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think another thing is realistically, who else is out there to come in and manage at the moment? I know they didn't come out and say it, but I'm 99.9% certain that Eddie Howe was the person they tried to get originally,
Yeah, I
who
agree.
basically told them he had no interest. Other than that, like Craig Bellamy's name was bandied about. He's having a great time over with Anderlecht. There's not really anybody else to come in and take the job. As much as I was always sort of steadfast on let's get a long-term appointment. Obviously, Mick McCarthy's not getting any younger. He's not going to stay around forever. I don't think there's anybody out there to go and get.
Yeah.
So at the moment, in hindsight, it's probably the right move to nail him down for a couple of years, especially with the way things are going. Like, look, let's not be naive. This is not going to last forever. There's going to be
No,
bumps in
no.
the road. There's going to be, at one point or another, he's going to get his first loss. How he does after that will be the real test.
Yeah.
But right now, yeah, I think the club have done the right thing. I mean, like I say, there's nobody else out there at the moment, realistically, that you're going to bring in. So yeah, great. Let's keep him on
Dave,
and let's see where it
um,
goes.
Dan, I don't know what Cardiff was talking about. I've just had a shave, although you can't really tell. Or you, I don't know
I
what he's
certainly
talking
haven't.
about. So anyway, welcome up to Cardiff, and James. James agrees with what I said. I don't know about every player, but most players, I think. Right. I don't know how I'm going to approach this now. Have you, let's go on to the games first. Let's go on to the games first. Right. Since we last spoke, I can't remember now. Derby. Derby with 4-0. What's your opinion?
It was just a brilliant performance. It was nice to see. Obviously, Bakuna came into the team. There's a couple of changes. Bennett went off injured, and Bagan came on. And it was nice to see other people come in and do a job as well. That was one thing I was a bit worried about. Was obviously we're not going to keep the same 11 on a pitch every single week. How would things go when changes started to happen? And I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. Bakuna was fantastic, and he's been nothing short of awful for the majority of the season. And he had probably the best game I've ever seen him play in a City shirt. So that was great to see. Bit concerned about Joe Bennett. I think he's going to be missing now for quite a while. Look like a nasty one. But just an all-round fantastic performance again. I mean, there's not a lot you can say. We say the same thing every week. It's almost getting boring now, playing well.
Oh, don't say that. And Middlesbrough, wasn't it, last Saturday?
That was probably the worst performance we've had.
To be honest, though, Dan, I think we spoke the show before. In fact, it may have been the show before the Bournemouth game. And I don't know if you agreed with me, but I always thought that Middlesbrough game was going to be tougher than the Bournemouth game. Did you agree with me? You may well have, but, but it may have been a Warnock factor and Bournemouth all over the shop with a manager at the time. It was something telling me that Middlesbrough away game. I'm thinking we could have lost it, which we should have in a neutral would have called it. We should have, but even before the game, I had my worries on that game. I'm glad to come away with 1 point.
Yeah, I think we knew, didn't we, that Middlesbrough almost looked like we did under Warnock at the start. Just a horrible team, difficult to break down. And I think we were lucky to escape with a point in the end. It looked like a tired performance. It was the worst we played under McCarthy. It just looked slow, ponderous. The high press and the shutting down. It all just seemed to go to pot, and we were just battening down the hatches in the end. I think I agreed with you. I think we saw that coming, didn't we? I think you always know what Warnock's going to do. You knew it was going to be a difficult afternoon. So to come away with a point where, let's be honest, we would have lost that a month ago.
Oh, without doubt. Absolutely, without doubt. And let's be honest, they could have put under Harris, they well up 3 or 4 on us.
Yeah.
Because you definitely would have played with the 3 centre halves. So, God knows what would have happened. Lee Tomlin. Where do I fucking start? Right, he plays for the under-23s, didn't he? I think he scored as well.
Yes, he did, Jack.
And then he pulled out. Now, listen, fans have a go at players. I got no problem at all. But on this, on this occasion, let's just say he snapped back at a suggestion that he pulled out deliberately of an under-23 game. I think would you agree with me on that, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see him deliberately pulling out of a game. I mean, I suppose you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I don't suppose he wants to play for the under-23s, really, but he's also been around long enough to understand that he's obviously coming back from quite a severe injury, and there's a route back to the first team. Whether there's anything else going on behind closed doors that we don't know about, I'm not sure. But I mean, I can't imagine him pulling out on purpose.
I mean, to be honest, this is the last thing players need, or the squad needs, in my opinion. Listen, we both know Anis. I've known him for many years. I've fallen out with him, made up with him. But even if, and I no doubt I'll have a phone call now or a message after the show. But listen, where I stand is this: even if he did have this information, I don't think it was the right time to disclose that information in public. It could have easily just put the cat amongst the pigeons, and then lo and behold, we're back where we started from. I just think it was a bit.
It's almost.
I'm going to call him out, here, Dan. I'm going to call him out. I just think it was a bit selfish on his part to get clicks and views on his website, because all of a sudden he's disclosed some information which people are going to be interested in the information. I'm going to call him out. There's no doubt I'll have a phone call off him, but
it's like we've said before. I mean, it's like anything in the world now. You have TalkSport make a living from posting clickbait stories to get people in. I don't think anybody stops to consider the ramifications of these things. When you have this information, it just goes out. So yeah, I mean, long term, he probably maybe should have kept hold of it. But hey, look, it's out there now. Like I said, I think make your own opinion up. I don't see him pulling out the game on purpose, especially when he's on his way back from injury.
Yeah. Dan, I do apologize. A background. I've just woke up, and my mate is pushing alcohol down me already. So I do apologize about that, people. You are right. And interesting, Upper Cardiff comes in and says, we all know about Tomlin's mental health problems. Maybe that has something to do with it. No one knows, but I just think it's an absolute wrong time. It's clickbait. I'm going to have messages, something of him, but that's my stance. I did actually, try to stir it by asking Tomlin to come on and we'll have a podcast, but unfortunately, he bit to Anis, but he didn't bit to me. So that's typical, isn't it? Right. Other things. What other things? Something else has happened now. I can't remember. Injuries. Sorry, injuries. And tiredness. You mentioned Joe Bennett.
Yeah, I think Joe is looking at being out long term at the moment.
Yeah. And, this season is crazy, Dan. Absolutely crazy. I can't remember last time we haven't played in midweek.
Yeah, I think it's been what we're playing again now tonight. So that'll be, 3 times this week now that we've been out. I think it's the same for everybody. It is an odd season. It seems to be football games on every night, and it's got to be taking a toll. But this is when squad depth starts to come into it now, and you start seeing teams that have looked after money better and have got big, deeper squads, or start to push towards the playoffs and towards promotion. That does concern me. Because I don't think we're the deepest squad. Like I said, it was nice to see the other day we made changes and it still worked, but we're a couple of injuries away from having to rely on the under-23s. Now, listen, that's not a bad thing, bringing kids through, but when you're in a push for promotion,
but the situation needs to be correct, really. The situation needs to be correct. On a plus point, I suppose, was that Johnny, I can't remember. They put me off now.
Johnny Williams.
Johnny Williams, yeah, he come on. Because we're so settled and comfortable against Derby, he come on. So plus point that he's getting games. How long that will be, and we'll never know. But at least as a body, because I am. After that Middlesbrough game, Dan, I was getting worried because everyone could see the tiredness. But it really impressive how that game finished, and a few days later, they put in that performance at Derby. Do you think they can do that again tonight?
I don't know. I mean, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Because, like I said, it's the same for everybody. And I think Derby have been playing relatively well recently, and that's probably the worst they've performed in a while. And they look tired. They didn't look fantastic. So I mean, I think it just depends on who you come up against on the day. We were probably still tired when we played against Derby. It was just the fact that we were less tired than they were, and we ended up looking fantastic. So again, I think it's a very short turnaround to tonight.
It really is. But in all fairness, Huddersfield did also play on the same night, didn't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though tonight if it's quite a game from both teams. If it's not as high paced, as high pressing as we've been used to in the last few weeks, because it is starting to take a toll on teams.
Has to be, because I'm surprised. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised the 3 centre halves have been the same ever since McCarthy came in, and not one of them have come. Not one of them as. I'm touching as much wood as possible now. but for them 3 centre halves to keep on going game after game after game, it's nothing short of impressive. Morrison can have, can pull up every now and then, but.
We are kind of getting to that point now as well. I know what you mean. Every time somebody goes down, you start thinking, "Oh, please get back up."
It's just wear and tear, basically wear and tear in the other body.
We're really running out of people to chuck in if we get 2 or 3 more. So I think it is a case of just obviously the club are looking after them as well as they can and making sure they're ready to go again. I do expect him to make a few more changes as we go every now and again to try and freshen people up. But it is going to get to a very sticky point of the season where if we get any more injuries, we're going to be in trouble.
Let's go to the comments, Dan. I do apologise, guys. I do prefer not to do the comments all the time like a watch-along, so let me just catch up. Ellis, am I doing a watch-along tonight? Let me double-check. I'll let you guys know in the next hour. I'm still trying to get a hold of Sam Greenwood regarding the Drunken Footy podcast tonight, so I'll get a hold of him. I'll let you know, and maybe an advert, whether it's just the podcast or the watch-along anyway. Up at Cardiff, we all know... Oh, sorry. Done that. James, we're doing really well. We could do without any negative story. That's exactly what I think. It's exactly what I think. It for himself, and it's timed it correctly, but it wasn't in the best interest of the club. Up at Cardiff, win, lose. Well, the thing is, up at Cardiff is that my mates come in. But he knows that I'm gonna go on for lunch now, so he's just winding me up that he's gonna open it without me. And James, anyone see them down the road, die for. I haven't seen it, mate. I haven't seen it. Did you see it, Dan?
No, I tend to avoid anything to do with them.
I know. Every time I watch them on TV, I come out in a rash. Do you know what I mean? You know,
I do
I've
enjoy
got.
looking at the scores and seeing them lose, though. It seems to be a weekly occurrence at the moment.
No worries at all. Right, just finishing off, Dan. I know it's going to have to be a short one today because we've both got different other working situations going on at the moment. Regarding German football, what's been happening in Germany?
Not a lot, mate. It's all pretty much the same. Bayern Munich are at the top. It's more interesting down the other end. Schalke are heading out of the Bundesliga by the looks of it for the first time in pretty much forever. Robert Glatzel's playing against them tonight, actually, for Mainz.
That's what I was going to come on to. How's he doing over there?
He's been good from what I've seen. I mean, obviously, there's only so many live games you can watch, so most of it is highlight packages. So I've not got to see him play live. Yeah. But when you've seen him in the highlights, I mean, he scored. He looks good. Mainz are on the up as well, which I think helps. They're playing well. But he's doing really well over there at the moment.
Now, I'm in Spain, Dan. Haaland story to Madrid is really starting to progress now. You know, we've had Marca. You know, we all know Marca is a mouthpiece of Real Madrid, but other newspapers and media outlets as well are now jumping onto the story. I know Deportivo Sport Day. Can't remember. I know 2 or 3 have come out, and the move of Haaland is. I think it's all coming around to a certain interview. I don't know if you've seen an interview of him when he was playing after a Champions League game, and they're on about the fans of Real Madrid want to see you there, and then he responded. As a youngster, if I'm honest with you, I think he responded very PR savvy, he let then the murmurings start gathering. You know, I don't know if you've seen my video previously, because Florentino Perez, the presidential candidate or presidential front runner, needs help, and he needs a big name. The Haaland, Real Madrid, are you seeing that as well, or is it because it's is it all different stories? But I'm hearing in UK it's basically Haaland's going to a Premier League club. Haaland's going to a Premier League club constantly. Where
you got obviously Man City, Man United. There was a story the other day that he's not interested in going to Chelsea, but again, they're in the hat. I mean, look, Borussia Dortmund, they're in probably financial trouble is probably the wrong way to put it, but they're not exactly doing well on the money front. And look, they're a selling club. It's what they do. They take young kids, they sell them on. The average age of the team is, ridiculously low. Yeah. He's not going to be there permanently. They're going to cash in. I think it's going to come down to who's willing to spend the most money to take him.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Dortmund, we all know that. And there's a few comments. I'll go back to the comments after this point now, guys. Just bear with me. But Dortmund, we all know that there's a buyout clause next summer, which is 75 million. Is it euros or pounds? I don't know. Euro. And so I know Florentino Perez and Real Madrid are thinking, right, listen, if we offer more than 75 million, Dortmund are in such a situation they're going to have to take, or they have to take less next summer. It's one or the other. And I think everybody's now jumped on to that fact. But I think there's apparently a comment come out yesterday and said that he wants a bigger club in Chelsea. Now, there's been comments that he's stated he wants to join Real Madrid. And there's also been comments stated that that Mbappe are coming, because that's where, the possible link up of Mbappe and Haaland to come in both for Real Madrid. Whether they got the money is a different thing. But players savvy, PR savvy these days. It may not come from them. It may come from my agent, may come from my brother, may come from my dog. Right? I'm not talking about my wives, no, but but because they can then hold their hands up to the club and say, wasn't me, boss, I didn't say that. The kind of links are definitely coming from the Haaland camp, but he's come to Real.
Yeah, I think, honestly, personally, I think that's probably the worst place he can go.
Okay.
I mean, look, there's been plenty of people that have gone to Madrid before and come superstars, and there's plenty that have gone there and their career's gone sideways, backwards, taking a downward turn. I mean, if he was to come to somewhere, like if he's going to come to the Premier League, he's going to go to Manchester City, because I don't see anybody else having the buying power. If they want him, they're going to get him, and they're heavily linked. He can come and work with Pep Guardiola, where he's going to have an arm around the shoulder, he's going to be looked after, or he can go into a situation where we've seen with the likes of Gareth Bale, it can turn sour very quickly. I would say, for me, I would avoid Madrid.
I understand where you're coming from on that, but I think half of Bale's problem has not been not just his agent or his nominated agent, because he's actually represented by an agency, isn't he? And it's just that Jonathan Morgan or whatever he is. He's just the bloody talking shop of that agency. I do think, if I'm honest with you, a lot of Bale's problems actually come from absolute shite PR which has come out of his agency, and it's got people pissed off over you. Mino Raiola represents Haaland, as we both know. Raiola's never actually done business with Real Madrid, as far as I'm aware. And as far as I'm aware, maybe he has done a transfer for Real Madrid, or maybe he started representing a player while they're at Real Madrid. But I do think this Haaland to Real Madrid is more of the egotistical, try saying this with a lisp now, egotistical mindset of Mino Raiola, just as much as it are for the benefit of Haaland himself.
Yeah, I mean, look, I cover Italian football. Mino Raiola is a well-known character, shall we say? I don't think he's thought of in the fondest of terms by many. Obviously, he's Paul Pogba's agent. There was a couple of months ago when he came out and said he's never going to play for Man United again. That was Raiola that came out and said that. He's not adverse to making comments to further his own needs when it comes to his players. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got quite a bit to do with that and he's pushing towards Madrid. But look, again, with an agent, all he's doing is putting fishing lines out there to see where he can get a bite.
Without doubt. And this is where, coming back to Cardiff and Mick McCarthy, right? There's no doubt. Even if it was 66-1, 200-1, 500-1 for him to have a Celtic job, there was a link.
Yeah.
And obviously with the results coming in like they were, that link was gathering traction. And that's where, let's be honest, that's where the McCarthy team would have got the fishing rod, tossed the bait into the water, and Cardiff had no other option than to bite. Right, let's go into the comments before we finish off. Dan, if that's okay.
Yeah.
We've had a few. I do apologise, guys. Win, lose, or draw, Brownies on a booze. Well, it's a bit early, but I know the point. Right, Cyber leader, thank you for coming in, mate. Much appreciated. Matthew, hi Brownie, are you doing a watch song? Again, guys, I'm not too sure. kind of like double booked it, but I think I can do both. Okay, so just keep an eye out for the adverts, which will be posted within the next hour. Zybelida, do you support Cardiff? Yes, we do. And he says, will you watch along with my mate, as he's a Cardiff YouTuber? Ask him to get in contact with me. It won't be for tonight's game, obviously, but definitely something in the future. No problem at all, mate. Ask him to get in contact. Upper Cardiff says, if I was Haaland, I'd 100% go Man City at the moment. Aguero's getting on, fair enough, and he's perfect replacement. That's fair enough, but I don't know. It's just, maybe it's my age, Dan, but I just dislike Man City these days. I really do. I really do. As in, don't get me wrong, with football, but it's just. It's just, I don't know. It's just evidence. It's just a rich man's toy, isn't it? Really, and it's no proper history with the club. They haven't really got a big fan base, and they just, it's just.
I think it comes from being a Cardiff City fan, mate. Everything we don't have, they do have. So it breeds a natural dislike. I mean, I don't mind Man City. I enjoy watching.
No. Hey. At the days of Main Road, and they had Uwe Rosler, and they had Niall Quinn up front, Peter Reid. During those days, I went to Main Road a few times, but there was a different element to the Man City was a proper working class club at those days, especially when we beat them in the FA Cup in '94. But it's gone from one extreme to the other in such a short space of time. My respect for that club has just gone out of the window.
I think I try and look at it as in, if it was to happen to us tomorrow, people would say the same thing about us, but I'd be happier than anybody. So
and then we have one who changes the colours.
Yeah.
Right. Uppercut Madrid could ruin his career on about Haaland, obviously. Oh, Indiana. Hi, mate. Many thanks, and big up Brownie. Make sure you smash and like people. Thanks, Indiana. Hope you're well. And guys, please check out Indiana's the First 11 channel. Great channel. Been on it a few times. Had a couple of drinks when I'd been on it, so I can't really remember what I said when I was on it. Probably bollocks, but please check his channel out. Upper Cardiff says, look at Jovic, young, talented, ripped human league. Yeah, I get your point, Upper Cardiff. I don't know if Dan knows I haven't. I don't rate the German league either, but Jovic as well as Hala, they played as didn't they play as a front two or front three and that's why they're saying Sebastian Heller didn't work out at West Ham, because the system just didn't suit them. Jovic, I think, is similar with Madrid, really.
I think it's the same for any player, isn't it, really? I think there's a certain way you like to play. Some are more adaptable than others.
Yeah.
And, we've seen it with Cardiff City. We have people that have come in that have scored goals, boatloads of goals elsewhere, and they come in and they don't perform for us. But I think it's just more the situation and the system rather than anything else.
Yeah, and Indiana says agents work for players, and ultimately players make decisions. Raiola is a nightmare, but great at his job. Of course he is. Yeah, no, I completely agree. If Raiola doesn't do a good job for players, then players wouldn't be employing him. That's the bottom line, I suppose, isn't it? And he said Martinez is a great shout to replace Sergio. So I'm assuming he's on about Sergio Aguero regarding Martinez of Inter Milan. I'm assuming, Dan, is it? I haven't seen that much of. I don't really see much of Italian football. Maybe it's because I'm over here. And Richie says, before we'll finish up now. And Richie says, favorite Cardiff player, Dan? You go first.
Either Harry Wilson or Kiefer Moore at the moment.
And favourite at all time?
Oh, probably Robert Earnshaw.
Okay. I'm just out slightly older than you. I gotta go Phil Stant. Right. And Francis, Matthew, I'm not going to answer that question. Right, guys. Dan, where can people find you?
On Twitter, mate, at DJB Football. It's where all my work and everything goes up when it's done. So follow me on there.
You fancy coming on at halftime tonight?
Yeah, I'm working Schalke Mines, but as long as kind of matches up, yeah, I'll try and jump on.
So how many TVs do you have in your house, friend, Dan, watching all these games at the same time?
I have the telly will be on, the laptop's on, there'll be one on the phone, and I'm kind of bouncing between the three, trying to keep an eye on what's going on.
No problem at all. Thanks very much for joining, Dan. Thank everybody in the comments. Guys, it's getting to a point now where I can't cope with all these comments, but because it's getting so popular. So thank you very much. Tonight, well, keep an eye out for the adverts which will go in on the YouTube channel within the next hour. Just double check the times and double check who's joining and so on, and we'll take it from there. Dan, have a great weekend. Well, we'll talk later anyway. So big up Cardiff and enjoy the rest of your day, Dan.
Cheers, mate, and you.
Take care. Bye-bye.